Hello again, everyone. Today I am going to be swatching some Gallo watercolors for you all. I recently got their dot card so that I could have a sample of each of their colors, although I think that this does not have the natural colors that are in the natural sets or the naturale sets. And one of the colors I got as a standalone color, which is Rose Madder Genuine, I did not see on the list. So I will also swatch that one because I got that in my recent order. And I wanted to show you a couple of watercolor brushes that I got from them as well in the same order. So this is a Tintoretto number 6 Kazan brush, which is, this is like the coolest brush. You open it up and it's this really long sort of dagger. It's not a dagger brush. I think, you know, you could call it a liner brush maybe, because it has this really fine tip, but it's really, really long. But I thought they had a variety of sizes. I got the largest one of the size. I had just never seen this kind of brush in a travel brush before, which I thought was kind of cool. And this is really good for getting fine lines and just kind of for scribbling a little bit with, and I like these brushes for going a little bit more abstract with watercolor. And if I have time at the end, I will show you, I will just briefly use it a little bit with some of these colors. But for now, I'm going to put that off to the side. And then I also got this synthetic Tintoretto number 6 flat. And I think ooh, looks like this needs to be crimped a little bit. Sometimes when you get your travel brushes, they don't always crimp super strong, although, you know, twisting it a little bit, that seemed to help. Sometimes you do need to crimp the metal a little bit so that it holds tight. But now that I put it on again, it seems to work fine. I think I'm going to be doing the swatches with this flat brush. It's going to create a little bit of a different quality to the swatches than if I were doing them with my normal round brush. But I did just want to kind of try this out. So let's go ahead and do the swatches with this guy. I have a little bit of a pot of water off to the side here, so I'm just wetting that. And I do kind of want to see how well this synthetic flat brush holds water, so we'll find out. All right, I'm going to put that little single pan off to the side, and I think I will put it somewhere in here with the pinks, because that's what that is. And I'm going to put this off to the side. So this is the entire dot card here that comes. They only offer one type of dot card, so they probably don't offer their natural colors in dot card form. They have some information. They talk about how they're honey-based watercolors. I've used these quite a bit. They're really, really great watercolors. They're small batch made, which is nice, but they're artist quality, and they say they're eco-friendly. They're cadmium-free, cobalt, lead-free, and mercury-free. I have been getting some more sort of historical pigments that do have cadmium, cobalt, probably lead and mercury as well. So you have to be really careful with those. But these are all eco-friendly, so you'd be good there. And they're definitely trying to focus on some synthetic brushes with Tintoretto. The Tintoretto brushes are generally very, very nice. So I've liked them a lot. I just don't have a lot of travel flat brushes, which is why I got this one. Plus that other unusual brush I don't have. And so they talk a little bit, made by hand in Italy. They're crafted from the finest pigments, gum arabic, local honey, and rosemary oil. The rosemary oil is probably to prevent them from going bad over time, because it is a preservative. It says, wet a brush and experience our color. For bold results, try pre-wetting with a drop of water. I am not going to be doing that today just because I'm going to go through each of these rather quickly. But I did want to let you know that will probably get you a more saturated color right off the bat. Learn about our artisan process and handmade watercolor products on our website. So I will put a link to the website, and then there's a little key here as to the pigment information for each thing. I'm not going to be going into that. I might tell you what the pigment is, but they do have all of this information on their website for the individual colors they sell. They may not have all of the colors all of the time, and they tend to do 1 or 2 updates to their website per month. So I would say if you're interested in these colors or these watercolors, to get on the mailing list so that you can be made aware of when they are going to be offering more. They offer full palettes and individual colors. Okay, so this first one here, I'm going to zoom in. What I'm going to do is zoom in and then move this around a little bit. So this is buff titanium. So you can see why I don't generally swatch with the square brushes. It's really hard. In fact, you know, I'm probably not going to do the rest of these with this square brush. It's just going to take too long, but it's really good for detail work and for making little swatches. I do that quite often, where I'm just kind of testing what kind of mixes I can get. I'm going to go back to my trusty round brush, but it's not because that is not a good brush. It is just because this is going to be a little bit easier to get more color. And I don't want to do too much because, and I may have to go into the other page. So that is buff titanium, which is PW6:1. This one is lemon yellow permanent, which is PY184. I'm just going to do a thinner strip so that we can get more color here. And I will put this up to the camera towards the end because I know I do have a glare issue with the colors. This next one is Azo Yellow Gold, which is PY151 and PY43. And as you can see, even though I have not pre-wet these, they are, they're still giving off quite a bit of pigment. Okay, sorry about that. And then here we have Royal Yellow, and that is PY151 and PY43. And then we have Indian Yellow, which has become one of my favorite yellows because I really like the warm leaning yellows. This is PY110 and PY154. Arancione, which is an orange color. This is PY83, PV19, PR101. So that's got a lot of different colors in it, but very pretty. I'm going to move this up a little bit. Then the next one is Vermilion Red, which is a really nice deep red. But yeah, so this is without pre-wetting, so you can imagine how much you can get if you pre-wet them. So this is Scarlet Red, which leans a little bit more cool. All right, now let's go up to the top here. Then we have Ruby Red, which is PR264. If I didn't say Scarlet Red was PR254 and Vermilion Red was PR255. This is Ruby Red. Ooh, that's lovely. PR264. Then we have Permanent Carmine, which is PV19. Try and make these a little bit narrower so we can fit the same amount. And we have Quinacridone Magenta, which is PR122, so we're getting a little more purple here. Pietra Rosa, which is PR233, PV19, and PV16. This is actually one of the colors I got in a pan with this order. Okay, I'm going to move that up so you can see that. And then we have Potter's Pink, which is PR233. Potter's Pink, always really nice. Interesting, the Potter's Pink seems very similar to the Pietro Rosa, yet Potter's Pink is a single pigment. Now, because we're entering the end of the pinks, I'm going to open this one, which is a natural pigment. It's Rose Madder Genuine. So I'm just going to go ahead and slip this out of the little sleeve there. And all of these little wraps are hand painted, so I really like to save these and use them for collage later on. Nothing goes to waste in my house with art. All right, I did put a lot of water just now. Okay, there we go. So that's that Rose Madder Genuine. Really, really beautiful. Again, you're getting a bit of glare, but we'll go back, I promise. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. And I'm actually going to put a little mark by this one so that I remember that that is an add-in. All right, and then we're going to Mineral Violet. And you'll see that some of these have a lot of pigment right off the bat, and some need a little bit more cajoling with some water. That one is PV16, and then the next one is Tyrion Purple, which is PV15 and PV16 together. Lovely. Okay, I'm going to try and fit 4 rows, so I started a little larger. They're going to get a little narrower over here. This next one is Ultramarine Violet. Looks like I need a little more water on that one. Ultramarine Violet. We have Dioxazine Violet. So the Ultramarine Violet was PV15? Yes, PV15. And Dioxazine Violet is PV37. That's actually a really beautiful, very pigmented violet. The next color is Notturno, which is PB29 and PR179. Oh, I'm so sorry. So this one was Ultramarine Violet, this one was Dioxazine Violet, and this is Notturno. I get so wrapped up in the colors that I forget to move the paper around. So leave that there. And then this next one is Zirconium Blue, which I think is actually one of my favorite pigments by them. It is not the strongest pigment, but it mixes so well with other colors and really gives some interesting granulation. I mean, just if you see it here, you might not think, oh, that's the most exciting color, but it's really great for mixing. Transparent Cerulean. Okay, so the Zirconium Blue, which was that lighter one, is PB71. That's not a color that is often offered by a lot of brands. This is Transparent Cerulean, which is PB15:3. So that's a phthalo blue, essentially, is what that is. The next one is Lapis Lazuli, which is kind of a weak pigment, and that's a natural pigment, so they do have some of them in here. It's a weak pigment, but it does have some nice granulation, and actually their Lapis Lazuli is a little bit stronger than some other brands, like Daniel Smith. Daniel Smith's Lapis Lazuli is really weak. Then we have Ultramarine Blue Dark. This would be a staple. If you do not have an Ultramarine Blue Dark, this would be something that I would recommend as a staple color in every palette. I didn't used to like this color, but it mixes so well to make all kinds of really great colors. This next one, so that's PB29, the Ultramarine. And then this is Midnight Blue, which is PB15:1 and PBK9. So there's a black in there. And I will show you these once again towards the end, so don't worry, you're going to get another shot at them. Okay, and I am going to have to go on to the other page, but that's fine. This is Indanthrone Blue, which is a very warm blue. Teal Blue, so that Indanthrone Blue is PB60. This is Teal Blue. Really lovely. That is PB15:3, PG7, and PW6. So there is a white added to that teal blue. Same with this next color, which is Copper Blue. So this is PW4, PG7, PB15:3, and PY3. Okay, and then we have Aquamarine, which is PB15:4, PG7, and PB29. Next one is Harbor Blue, which is another color I really love by them. PB15:3 and PBR8. It's a really nice earthy turquoise type color. Next one is Viridian Hue, which is PG7 and PB29. Next one is Green Earth Cool, which is PG23. Yeah, the Pietro Rosa might not, or not Pietro Rosa, the Rose Madder Genuine may be too new of a color to be on here. So that might be, even though, because I am seeing some natural colors here. So this next one is Malachite. And that is PG7, PG36, and PW6. So there is a white in there. All right, so I am going to go onto this other page, and I realize that I'm probably going to be a couple colors short here for all of them to fit. So I'm going to make a couple of them a little bit smaller because I do want to be able to fit them all on 2 pages, a two-page spread. So this one is Fig Green. So let's start here with the smaller. I'm going to do that at sort of like half size. Fig Green. This one is Sap Green. The Fig Green was PY151, PY151, PG17, and then Sap Green is PY83, PG36, PV19, and PR101. Even though that has a lot of pigment in it, it's a really beautiful green. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so once I do a couple of these like that, I should be able to go on. Chromium Oxide Green, PG17. And then we have Olive Green Deep, which is PY154, PY110, and PB29. And then we have Green Gold, which is, ooh, a lot of pigments. This is PY150, PY184, and PG36. Okay, and then this next one is going to be Green Earth Warm, which is PG23. And then I'm going to go back to the full rose because I think we'll have enough space now. I can adjust at the end if I need to. French Ochre Sahara is this next one, which is PY43. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah. Verdaccio is the next color, PBR7, PBK11. Move that up so you can see. Then we have Green Umber, PB8. These are a little bit lighter. It looks like I have a little bit of marks on this watercolor paper, but should be able to see it pretty well. Gerocite is the next one, PY43. Get a little bit more water on there. There we go. I think that's a natural pigment as well. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, one more row there. Gold Ochre, PY43. All right, and then we have Moroccan Ochre, which is PY43 again. Interesting. Okay. Seems like a little bit of a stronger version of that prior one. Raw Sienna, PY43 yet again. Very interesting. They're all pretty similar. Okay, Raw Sienna Badia, which is PY43. We've got a lot of those. You definitely only need one yellow ochre type color in your collection. all of these are, these two and then these three are all PY43. So, you know, whichever tone is your preferred tone of yellow ochre. Quin Gold, which is PY150 and PO48. Definitely a favorite for a lot of people. Quin Red Gold, which is PO48. Lovely. Castile Orange, PR102, PY43. Okay, Ercolano Red, which is PR102 and PR101. All really nice earth colors. I'm going to go up a little bit there. Burnt Sienna, which is PB7 for this brand. Sartorio Red, which is PR102. Oh goodness, I hear lots of messages going on. I have to speed this up. Okay, Venetian Red is PR102. Venetian Red is a really nice color, I think, to have in your palette. Hematite, which is PR102 as well. In fact, I would probably go for Hematite over Venetian Red here. And then we have Morellone, which is a really beautiful PR101. Oh, love that one. Okay, Quinacridone Chestnut, which is PR206. That's lovely. Love all these reddish earth tones. And then we have Burnt Umber Cypress, which is PBR8. And remember, all of these are without a lot of water. So you'll get even more pigmentation with pre-wetting. This is Burnt Umber Brownish, PBR8. Burnt Umber Dark, PBR7. Okay, let's go up here, and then we have Sepia, which is PBK9 and PBR7. I'm gonna try and hold that down a little bit. Oops, let me get that out. I was preventing it from focusing there. Indigo, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, yes, we have exactly enough spaces. Indigo, which this is genuine indigo. Very pretty, but is not going to be light fast. Then we have Payne's Gray, which is really beautiful bluish leaning Payne's Gray. PB15:1, PBK7 and PV19. And then we have Roman Black Earth, which is PBK11, which is a granulating black. I didn't realize they had a granulating black. It's a great mixing color to get granulation into your colors. As you can see, that you can see some of the brush strokes on some of these. Some of that is not using a lot of water, but some pigments do tend to show that a little bit more. This last black one here is PBK9, which is ivory black. So it's not going to be as pigmented or as granulating as that Roman Black Earth. Next we have Slate Gray, which is PBK19. It's a pretty subtle gray that might benefit from more pre-wetting for sure. And then we have Titanium White, which I will swatch, but you're not going to really see. That is PW6. Titanium White is an opaque white. And then the last one here, which I'm assuming will need a little bit of scrubbing, is Antique Gold. I didn't know they had a gold either. So this is metallic pigment and PY43. It's actually a pretty good gold. All right, I'm going to go back so you can see these again. We had just enough space there with my advanced space management. So there we go. Really beautiful, highly pigmented. You're getting a little bit of brush strokiness on some of these. Some of that is using less water. So keep that in mind. And but in my experience, these are really great watercolors. Okay, now I'm going to go over to this side, and they're pretty much all dry at this point. Okay. Well, you've got some wetness there on the next ones where more water was used. A lot of these earth colors, I think, are a little duplicative, so you could definitely only get like one in a category of earth colors for sure, especially with those yellow ochres. You know, just pick colors that appeal to you. And then there's that gold, which is the wettest of the bunch, so you're not going to get all that metallic color. There's that white that you can't really see other than maybe a little bit of an outline. You can see it that way. Gray, some blacks. I really like their Payne's Gray as well. All right. Well, that is all I had for you today. Let's see if we can pull back the camera here. Get most of those in the view. Well, they're not all going to be there, but all right. Well, I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Feel free to subscribe to keep track of future videos on my channel. I hope to see you next time, but in the meantime, have a great day. And if you have any questions about any of these pigments or this brand, just let me know below and I'll answer when I can. Thanks so much. Bye.